African American now.
Okay, okay.
And what's happening there is that you have a school system that's all African American. You have inner city schools. The suburban schools are better because the parents pay property taxes. And when you're in the urban areas, you're most likely to be a renter. So your taxes are not going into the schools. And then people tend to use that not to educate. The other problem I find is that when we don't educate children, they grow up to become adults. And if you can't read, write, or do mathematics, we're no longer hunters and gatherers. We need skills.
Correct.
So we go out, we steal, we sell drugs.
In order to
survive.
To survive.
But we need our basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing. Now you go to jail. So that means you have an increase in the prison population, and you're building more prisons, you're hiring more police officers, more courts, more judges, more lawyers. So everyone is gainfully employed on the lack of education of African American people.
Are you saying conspiracy?
It is, I would say. I mean, it's a design.
Right.
The other part of that is welfare. If you're a female, even though females are now increasing in terms of prisons, you can have babies, go on welfare, get WIC, get the welfare, whatever the program, Medicare, whatever medical program is offering, then the medical system gets in it.
Okay.
They give a lot of prescription drugs to a lot of African American people have high blood or diabetes or both. Dialysis machines, most blacks are on dialysis.
And I agree with you, but to a certain extent, we can't blame all of these devices as the downfall.
It's a design, it is. If I wasn't strong enough.
It's part of the problem, it's not the complete.
But, I looked at was on public education, and I had the DVD.
Okay.
Where a group of children were identified as blue eyes and brown eyes. And these were white kids in the classroom. The blue eyes felt superior. The brown eyes felt that they were discriminated against, they were treated differently, they didn't have the privileges.
Okay.
And the test scores dropped. When the teacher reversed it and said that the brown eyes were the blue eyes, their scores increased. Now the blue eyes were able to have extra time for recess. They could drink out of the water fountain, but the brown eyes had to use cups.
Okay.
They were not allowed to play with the blue eyes. The blue eyes were always encouraged. They were great, they were smart.
Okay.
And the children start acting out their role.
That's very interesting.
So as an African American, a brown person,
yeah,
if you're not white, you're definitely, so you have to look at all of it. Okay. Some people are strong enough to come back after all that pressure, but by design, why is it that more African American men are in prison? And then after coming out of prison, they can't find jobs. And they got into prison because the school district didn't educate them. And we're doing the same thing. If we added the dollars and cents that are being made on African Americans people's miseducation, it would make slavery look like a small business.
Okay, okay. Let's talk about your story because it's very inspirational and speaking to overcoming some of these, what you did with your son.
Yes.
And then even your story of how you grew up, where you grew up, you went to college and so forth, very inspirational. What's your background? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in North Philadelphia, very poor, 7 children, walking 25 blocks to school every day, many times with holes in my shoes, getting to school, not having lunch. So I'm very sensitive to the needs of children, very sensitive to children's clothing, and very sensitive to giving love to those children. However, I felt that I had to go through that to be the person that I am.
To be the person that you are.
So I went through all that, and I now understand what it's like not to have.
Correct, and then you're giving that hope and so forth back to the kids that are in our communities because you came from those kids, you were once those kids.
Definitely, and even when I looked at the public school, I had to file another discrimination complaint because 30,000 minority high school children didn't have hot lunches. So when I went out to tour the schools in the Northeast, the white students had hot lunches in a 45-minute lunch period, and the African American children were just let go early, let them out of school early. And you know that when you don't eat, your blood sugars drop, your ability to focus and remember facts drops.
Sure, sure.
So when I talk about a design, know that I've studied it 36 years. It's a definite design. And we have to overcome that. African American people, and I'm not prejudiced at all because I have Caucasian, Hispanics, Koreans in my school. African American people have to start setting up our own schools and educating our own children. We have to stop sending our children to other people. I think we're the only race of people that do that.
Okay.
We have to do it and let people understand that they have to respect us. We're the first people. When you go back into history, come on.
Yeah.
You know, we were the first man. They had found nothing. Leakey and his wife found nothing, no skull. So African American people were the first people. So the first findings of man was in Africa. So we've been doing it longer. We do it better. And I think people know that. And that's why we are suppressed, and we continue to be suppressed.
As a people. All good points coming from our guest today, Veronica Joyner. She is the Chief Administrative Officer of the Mathematics, Civics, and Sciences Charter School. She's also the founder and president of Parents United for Better Schools. You've been seeing the information, her website, throughout the program, so please jump on the website to get any further information about pubs. Thank you for watching our program today. Once again, this is Mike Pleasant reminding you to be the change that you want to see in your world. Thanks for watching.